This is the all-new Samsung Galaxy Watch 8, and today I took it for a little day in the life to see how it would perform. I actually slept with it last night. Around midnight, it was about 100%, but then it dropped to 75% in the morning, so that's about 25% battery loss for sleep tracking. Seems like the battery estimations for the watch were pretty consistent. Throughout the day, it dropped to about 50% halfway through the day at noon. And right now, we're around 2 p.m., and it's 43% with 18 hours left. So I can probably go to bed with this, wake up tomorrow, and charge it tomorrow morning. That's a full day and 2 sleeps with this watch. It's not amazing, but it's decent battery life for a smartwatch. There's also the Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, which just feels like a classic watch. It has a rotating bezel. I got to play with this at Samsung Unpacked, but I do not have this watch in my hands. If you do want to see a video about that, let me know and I can go ahead and acquire one of those. But this is the Samsung Watch 8. It is the slimmest watch they've ever made, 11% slimmer. It is one of the slimmest watches, smartwatches that I've ever tried. So I love that it's small and discreet, because when you're wearing it to bed or just around anywhere, it's nicer when the watch is smaller. Like, big watches are good if they have a lot of functionality and features, but if we can pack into smaller watches, I'd actually prefer that. It has a circular watch face, but kind of like an oval shape. It looks super clean, minimalistic, and it has 2 buttons on one side, but no scroll wheels. So it's super easy to maneuver, and it just feels like a clean watch, which I really do like. And then the new Samsung Watch 8 has the new band, so it's super easy to take the bands on and off, switch out new bands. Seamless. I love how easy it is. You just press that button, pull it out, and then when you want to put it back in, just slide it back in. I think if you have a lot of different bands, different occasions, it's just so easy to swap out bands, and I love that about the new Samsung Watch 8. Now, one of the first things is sleep tracking, so let's hop into that. And I'll compare it to my Oura Ring, because that's kind of the closest device that will give you a sleep score and somewhat similar data. The Apple Watch does not give you sleep scores. So I'll kind of go through what we got: 89, 94, 78, 78, 82, 89, 77, 80, 82, 84, 66, 68, 77, 83, 91, 81. So it's interesting, for the most part, the overall sleep scores are somewhat similar. You know, they're slightly off, but you're also getting almost the same type of data: the total sleep, your efficiency, your heart rate data during the sleep stages, which I don't look at too often, oxygen saturation, skin temperature, your heart rate and heart rate variability graphs. We got sleeping HRV, our sleeping heart rate, and they're not exactly the same, but they're close enough. That's why I always say look at the trends, not the exact numbers to compare. So we can look at the sleep time. So here we have 7 hour 40 minutes versus 7 hour 17. Sleep score is 92.85 for this day. And then we can look at sleep stages if you really would like to compare these in specific detail. Awake 32 versus 49, REM 1 hour 56 versus 1 hour 38, light 355 versus 47, and deep 1 hour 17 versus 1 hour 33. So they're never going to be perfect, but they're made close enough. Like, these numbers aren't astronomically different. Blood oxygen sensors, I have a video where I tested sleep trackers versus a sleep lab, so I would go watch that. I don't look at the numbers and say, oh no, I got 5 minutes less of this sleep stage, like I need to change my life. Use the overall trends, not the specific numbers. We have skin temperature, lowest heart rate, average heart rate 57, so they almost exactly matched on that. And then what's unique about Samsung is they have sleep coaching, so I can go ahead and do a sleep coaching program where it starts a 3-week program where it helps guide you into sleeping better. It looks like I'm a lion sleeper, so we've gotten that information over time of getting multiple nights of sleep with this watch. You can see the little icon right over here, but this is the Samsung Health app, and I have the Ring as well, which you can use. The Ring is from last year. They didn't create an updated Ring, very similar to the Oura Ring in terms of how it looks. I just think the charger execution was 10 times better on Samsung's part than Oura. I just wish every brand would kind of copy this, but it's USB-C charging case where you can charge the case and then the case charges the Ring. But for the most part, I use the Samsung Watch to track my sleep and to get all this data. There's a new bedtime guidance feature, so it's going to use your 3 most recent sleep records, and you can manually enter these if you don't have them. It's going to give you a sleeping window. So tonight it's 11:40, and then a wake up time around 8 a.m. I wish I would go to bed earlier, but I can use this to help get better sleep guidance. And then there's also sleep apnea monitoring. So you will use your phone and your watch to see if you potentially have sleep apnea. I didn't detect it for me, but this is great for most people who maybe are curious, and if they need to go contact their doctor and get a more extensive test, this is kind of a great start. For me, I was like, oh, I don't need another test, and that's it. We always have had ECG, and that's available too, depending on your country. And then inside of the Samsung Health app, there are a ton of new data points that we can track. So what are the cool new things? Obviously, we've had weight, food, medications, blood glucose that you can manually enter, fluid intake. There's a new antioxidant index. So we tested this outside and I was actually very low. I was told that if you eat carrots, you can help increase this number. So I bought a bag of carrots and I was like, let's see if we can get this number up. And I was able to get that from a 49, very low, 44, very low, to a 51, which is now in the low range in the middle. But then I stopped eating carrots, it dropped to 48. Today I retested and got a 48. So I need to keep eating more carrots. But that's very interesting because they're checking for the carotenoids in your blood using the back of the heart rate by using the LED sensors in your watch. And anyone can test it. You can just give it to a friend and they can test it. Most people that I've tested this on have been low. Maybe we're all just extremely unhealthy and we need to eat more, but it kind of shows you about how they track that, what it is, carotenoids and antioxidants. I hope I pronounced that properly. But this is the first I've ever seen in a watch where they're able to measure this just using the back of your watch. Next is the AGEs index. We had this in the previous versions, but now you can kind of see this information again. It shows your overall biological aging process and it's influenced by your diet and lifestyle. It automatically calculates this every day. So we've got, high numbers, not amazing. I'd like to get more in that blue zone. I need to focus on getting plenty of sleep and physical activity. I haven't been able to work out very well because I injured myself. So we're not in the best range right now, but we're in the steady. And I'd love to be increasing this information, but it shows you, hey, your sleep time, your total active time, and how it's calculating those numbers. What gets measured gets managed. And I think, data can over-index and you can get stressed out and anxious about that information. So it's important to be careful. But I do love where certain watches will measure certain things and it can actually inspire you to live a healthier and happier life. And I think these things have that potential as long as you don't abuse the information. Now, one thing I did like, but also didn't love was navigation on the Samsung watch. I use Lyft a lot, City Bike, to bike around. And when I book the bike, I put in the address I'm going to, and then City Bike will navigate me to the bike station where I can get rid of that bike. And I guess I was logged into a different Google account on the watch, it was a Google account on the phone. So then they didn't sync. And I didn't realize that. I think I just wanted to work. So that was kind of a downside, just knowing that. Make sure you have the same Google account on your watch as the Google account on your phone. I switched between them because of saved places and all those types of things. So that got a bit confusing. But overall, I love the Google Maps experience on the Samsung Watch 8 more than Maps experiences on Apple Watches, just because it's easier to zoom in and out. You can scroll through. It's just a lot easier to maneuver the map and understand where you need to go and what's going on versus Apple Maps on the Apple Watch and iPhone. Next, I love running. There is a new running coach. This is inside the Samsung Health app right here. Running coach, what you need to do is a 12-minute run. I've been injured, so I haven't been able to run and test this out. But when you do that, it'll tell you, hey, would you like to do? A journey to 5K, journey to 10K, beginner's half marathon, beginner marathon. Based on where you are right now, it'll give you workouts. It'll give you things that you need to do. So actually, we're in the journey to 5K. So it'll tell me my test summary after you've done it, like how long you're able to run for, your pace, your distance, your heart rate for those 12 minutes. And that's going to help calibrate your running workouts and running sessions. So I'm just in a level 1 journey to 5K because I wasn't able to finish it. And it's going to show you, week 2, make moving a habit, then start running. And it's going to slowly build up and you're going to do tests as things go on, running basics, adjusting the running, adjusting the paces, and then it just gets more and more advanced as you go up the levels. Having this built into a watch is the first. I personally have used Runna to help train me for a marathon in the past, but if you don't need to and it's already built into your watch, I don't have to do anything extra. That makes it that much simpler. It integrates with the Samsung Watch. I think that's very exciting. If we can get more people working out, more people exercising, and make the idea of effortlessly getting off the couch and moving easy while minimizing injury is astounding. So I really love that. I love that Samsung created this feature. Then came testing Gemini. So now you have Gemini on the watch. This is one of the first where you get a AI on your watch. It didn't work the best for me. There's a lot of things I tried to do. It was like, I need permission. So then you have to go set that up. Sometimes setting it up required you to go on your phone separately and figure out how to do it because it didn't easily guide you on the watch. There's certain things you can do with Siri or Samsung's previous AI, which you can also switch to, but you can't do a Gemini. And I was like, I can't send messages. Why is that? So it doesn't make for a great experience when you're able to do a whole new set of things, but you couldn't do the past set of things. I tried asking for, certain playlists, things that they recommended us trying with Gemini, and just didn't work on my watch. And I think AI still has a little bit to go before we can use it in a great way. But if you understand the exact things you can do with it, it's great. But when you're like, I want to be able to ask it these specific things, and it gives me the wrong answer. I'm trying to find a coffee shop near me and navigate to the coffee shop using Google Maps. I'm unable to open Google Maps. I don't know where your location is. And then it's all right, why is this not fully integrated with the system? I would love to see it be able to access my location, be able to access all my apps, be able to open things. And I understand there's privacy concerns, making sure that, Gemini can't just do everything and you have to give those permissions, but it just made the experience not the best. Overall, I think if you're a Samsung user, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 8, the Watch 8 Classic, and the Galaxy Watch Ultra are great watches. This will last you an entire marathon. Like, you don't need the more advanced watches. So if you're just getting into running and you have a Samsung device, then this is a go-to watch. The thing I don't love is none of these smartwatch companies open up their ecosystems. I can't use a Samsung Galaxy Watch with my iPhone. I can't use an Apple Watch with my Samsung phone. And I wish that they would, and I understand that there's limitations and you want to kind of control the experience, make the onboarding as seamless as possible, because there are other brands that will work with different ecosystems and the experience might be different in terms of installing and getting it working on different devices. So I get why they do that. But I wish one of these like big players, Google, Samsung, Apple, like at least one of them would be like, hey, my watch works with all the phones. And the Samsung watch does work with other Android phones, but you don't get all the features. So I think that's where the limitations we run into. But if you're looking for a decent smartwatch that will track your fitness, your activities, and you do have to charge every day or every other day, this is a good watch. But once again, it's all based on the phone that you have. If you're focused on running, like maybe Garmin's better because you don't have to worry about charging it every day. But then you lose some of the smart features, you lose the running coach. So it's hard to say. I would say if you're getting into running, you want a watch that does all the things, plus handles most of your fitness stuff, then the Samsung watch is great if you own a Samsung device. Now, if you have an iPhone, then the Apple Watch is best if you want the smartwatch features plus fitness stuff. If you have a Google phone, then the Pixel Watch is also good if you want smartwatch features plus some of the fitness stuff. But if you're like, I want purely fitness stuff with a little bit of smartwatch, that's where Garmin, Coros, and those other ones come in. And I have videos testing all of those. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the new Samsung Galaxy Watch 8. I can keep testing more things. Should I run a marathon with this watch? I got 2 coming up in the fall, Berlin and Chicago. If you want to donate to my Chicago charity, I'll have a link down below to help support that. Thanks for watching. My name is Shervin Shares. Follow me on all the socials at Shervin Shares. We'll see you in the next video. Subscribe, turn notifications. Peace!